Hello, and welcome back to Green Hill Gaming, where I share my passion of video games with the whole wide world. In this live stream, I'll be having a post-game discussion and showing off some bonus content with Heavy Rain. So sit back, relax, grab that umbrella, but as always, and more importantly, enjoy the live stream. So last night, in my previous live stream, the epic, non-stop roller coaster ride of emotion, twists and turns came to an end when I completed Heavy Rain. So yeah, in this live stream I'm going to have a post-game discussion about pretty much all the big things that happened in the game, while showing off some bonus content. So no, I don't think I've actually ever seen the trailer for Heavy Rain, so let's kick off the live stream by playing the trailer.
Are you prepared to suffer to save your son? You have 5 minutes to cut off the last section of one of your fingers in front of the camera. If you succeed, you will get your reward.
How far will you go to save someone you love?
Agent Norman Jaden, FBI.
Ah, Jaden, my man.
Good evening. My name's Scott
The
Shelby.
origami
I'm
killer
a
himself.
detective.
Spoiler
I'm
alert.
investigating the case of the origami killer.
I'd like a room.
Madison Page, 27, single.
Ethan Mars has had psychological problems since his first son died. He is haunted by visions of drowning bodies. A few weeks ago, after one of our usual sessions, I found this on the floor. It must have fallen out of his pocket.
Ash, I want you to assign every available man to finding Ethan Mars. I want you to keep an eye on the train stations, the airports, the bus terminal. I want every cop in the city on his ass, so that if he moves, we know about it. You're gonna die, you son of a bitch!
I swore on my son's grave that I would kill the man who murdered him.
I just don't believe he's guilty.
Your other son, Mrs. Shepard. What was his name?
Everything I did for love.
That's some trailer. That's a quality trailer, like. Damn. It pretty much sums up the game, really. You don't have to do any post-game discussion on, I'm only joking. Whew. The story. You know, that roller coaster ride of a story is what made Heavy Rain for me. Like, damn. Like, I'm actually speechless for a live stream that consists of me having a post-game discussion. I'm speechless for a discussion, but nonetheless, it's a deep story. You know, it's a painful story. It's tragic. It's torturous. It's relentless. And yeah, it's just full of twists and turns. But it is a story of how far would you go to save the person you love. And there's two main characters. This is my interpretation now of the story, of course. Two main characters of that story, right? They're Ethan and the origami killer himself. Right? Now, at the beginning of the game, I have to show some concept art actually. That's actually a lovely piece of concept art. That's actually Ethan's home at the beginning of the game. Very appropriate because I was just talking about the beginning of the game. So, at the very beginning of the game, one of Ethan's sons, he has two sons, Jason and Sean. You head out into the mall with your, at the time, your wife and your two kids, and you lose track of Sean. Sean goes missing. It ends with that beginning of the game ends with Jason actually getting knocked down by a car, and unfortunately he does not survive. But he, desperately tries to. When Ethan loses track of Sean at the mall, he relentlessly, pursues him, tries to find him. There was one other character that is watching all this, watching a father's determination to save their son. And that man goes by the name of, I forget his first name. Shelby, nonetheless, right? Who in the game introduces himself as a private investigator investigating the origami killer, but he actually is the origami killer. Okay? But this guy Shelby, when he was a kid, right, himself and his brother, John Shepherd, were playing on the construction site. John ended up trapped in like a drain, right, and it was heavy rain. The water was rising, the rain level was rising. Mr. Chad Middleton, welcome to my heavy rain post discussion live stream, where I'm going to be showing off some concept art of the game as I discuss. Chatty boy, how are you doing today? You're very welcome to the live stream. Just discussing the story of Heavy Rain, my interpretation anyway. So Shelby's brother John is trapped. He is about to drown. He does his best to look for help. He goes to his father and says, "Hey, John's trapped. You gotta help me." But unfortunately, your father is a drunk and he doesn't want to hear about it, so he doesn't help, hence the death of Shelby's brother John. That, I would imagine, from what I've seen of the game, it broke Shelby on every level. It's such an emotional, mental level. He would be tortured for the rest of his life. He would live a life of just pure grief and regret, probably guilt that he couldn't actually save. That's actually what it is. He felt guilty that he couldn't save his brother John. He also felt angry that his father, the one who should love his son, didn't actually save John. And that would result in Shelby becoming the origami killer. But he particularly targets Ethan, as I mentioned. So when he's at the mall, so Shelby's at the mall, he sees Ethan trying to find his missing son, Sean, and he says, I wonder how far this father would go to save his son. And that's pretty much where Ethan's story begins. Well, not so much where it begins, because, I mean, he lost his first son, but nonetheless, that's when the origami killer targets Ethan. So he actually kidnaps Sean in the docks and traps him in like a drainage thing area, and he just completely fucks with Ethan, and he's like, how far will you go to save your son? You know, complete these trials, you know, cut off your finger, you know, fucking make your way through a power plant without getting electrocuted, you know, kill another person, you know what I mean, sacrifice your life, you know, to save your son, because he desperately wanted to find out how far Ethan would go to save his son, obviously because his father didn't do a very good job saving John, you know, and he himself felt he didn't do a good enough job to save his brother, so he just wants to see, he actually wants Sean to be saved. That's, you know, his fucked up kind of way of thinking, you know. Was he at the mall, or did he watch? He was at the mall, actually. Yeah, he was actually at the mall. Well, either at the mall or watched the news, probably one or the other. But I think in the cutscene last night they actually showed him in the mall. And yeah, I mean, like, you're introduced to Shelby as the private investigator. That's what was crazy. Like, when you actually find out through the course of the game and through the course of investigations that Shelby is the origami killer. I have no sympathy for Shelby. I have no sympathy for these self-centered, irritating, you know, why me, fuck my life kind of villains. Poor Shelby. He lost a loved one in tragic circumstances. You know, he grew up with a father that didn't care about him. Poor Shelby. Poor Shelby. It doesn't give you that fucking right, you know, to be the origami killer. It doesn't give you the right to fucking kidnap other children, which he did. You know, fucking drowned them. You know, it doesn't give you the right to do all that. So I have no sympathy for him. During the climax of the game, I actually played the game where Jaden, the FBI agent, my favourite character in the game, by the way, shout out to Jaden, cross between the love child of Albert Wesker and Fox Mulder. Can you get any better than that? I don't think so. He actually apprehends the origami killer. He actually is the one. Again, this is how I play the game. I think it works differently depending on the choices you make. That's what's great about Heavy Rain as well, is every choice you make determines the kind of story that you're going to experience. But I did it anywhere where Jaden actually works out that Shelby is actually the origami killer, goes after him, apprehends him, and Shelby / origami killer is hanging off a ledge, and he's about to fall into this grinder, and he's like, save me. I didn't save him, because that's how true justice works. Simple as. So, that's how true justice works in my mind. He didn't deserve saving, you know. I mean, did he save Sean? No, he put him in that position. You know, did he save all those kids that he kidnapped and drowned? No, he didn't. So fuck Shelby. I am gonna save him. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed. So that was the story, really. You know, it was this really deep story about how far you would go to save the one you love. From the point of view of Ethan himself, he's thinking, how far will I go to save my son? But the puppeteer, the origami killer, you know, pulling the strings, orchestrating this whole thing, He wanted to see how far Eden would go to save Sean, because his father didn't do a good job saving. He literally did not save John, Shelby's brother. And he probably felt guilty again himself. He did. He completely felt guilty that he didn't do a better job to save John as well. So that's what it is. Suphan, how are you doing? How was your head? As always, Suphan, you are very welcome to Green Hill Gaming for a live stream of Heavy Rain, where I am having a post-game discussion and showing some concept art as I do. So I was just saying there, Suphan, that my interpretation of the story of Heavy Rain in a nutshell is a story of how far you would go to save the one that you love, from the perspective of so it's really about Shelby and the grief that he experienced as a child when his brother died in such tragic circumstances, when he drowned, and his father didn't help. He felt he didn't do a good enough job to try and help, so that basically ruined him, tortured him for the rest of his life, resulting in him becoming the Origami Killer. When he saw Eden desperately trying to find and save his son Jason, that kind of inspired Shelby / Origami Killer to target Eden and find out how far he would go to save his other son Sean. So I was just talking about that. So yeah, that's the story. God, I mean, the gameplay, like just the amount of choice that you have, the interactivity you have, the environment, with the questions that you ask, the answers that you give. But particularly, like, I mean, my favourite character and my favourite part of the gameplay was Jaden. And again, cross between Albert Wesker and Fox Mulder. You just can't get any better than that, can you? I just liked, looking under every stone, every nook and cranny, every corner, just investigating every part, looking at all the clues, just really trying to be just a good cop, a good he's actually an FBI agent, just trying to solve the case, basically. I could not stand Blake. Just an absolute cunt was Blake. I tell you, like, when I found out Shelby was the Origami Killer, man, I was just, what? Like, there was a time where I did suspect him towards the end of the game when you were at the club, and Palco, what the hell his name is, that zebra guy, when he actually gets shot by the Origami Killer, and when Jaden gets attacked, I just looked at him, at the attacker, and I said to myself that he's got the same build as Shelby. So I did suspect him towards the end, but not very much. I was adamant that it was Eden, and then I was thinking, is it Blake? And then when you actually found out that towards the end of the game, like when you find out the Origami Killer could be a cop, I was like, oh my god, it's Blake. And you actually have the option to straight up accuse Blake at that point, but I wasn't going to be stupid. You can't just come along and accuse a person without having significant evidence. At the time, there was no evidence to suggest that Blake, he's a cunt, yeah, but there was no evidence to suggest that he was the Origami Killer. So I wasn't going to straight up blame him, I just really enjoy the investigation gameplay. But it was just non-stop though. It was just non-stop roller coaster ride, twists and turns, and just a fantastic story. I like my story in games more so than other areas of the game, like more so than like graphics and stuff, like visuals and like even like kind of like certain like mechanics, like if you get enough experience, you can get this new weapon or something. I mean, what excites me more than any of those things is story, and Heavy Rain has a good story, let me tell you. I just told you. Yeah. The quick time events. Oh my god. Overall, they're good. You know, they really add a high level of intensity when it comes to the scenes. Like it could be a fight scene, chase scene, an escape scene. When you're trying being the main word there, when you're trying to successfully complete those QTEs, it's just very, very intense. Like, you know, it adds to the scene. So if you're escaping or fighting, it just really adds to it. You know, I don't remember this area. Some of these could be. I definitely don't remember that. Oh no, I do. That's when. Yeah, I do remember that. See, such a roller coaster ride. If you want a roller coaster, man, chances are you're not going to be able to remember some of the sights you've seen as you go up and down. You know, it was a complete roller coaster ride. That's how I would sum up Heavy Rain. So I'll discuss the story, about the gameplay, quick time events. I'm not going to review the game or anything like that. You know, I'm not really good at reviewing games, but just kind of going to be all over the place really. But I think I discussed the story, how I feel about that, my interpretation, what it's really about, gameplay, I mean, very, very impressed with this game. I got, Supon, sorry to hear that, man. Man, get some rest. You should go into a dark room, like close the curtains / blinds, shutters, just basically make sure there's no light coming into your room. Lie down for a good bit, you know, drink some water, get some rest, and get better soon, Supon. So hopefully you get better soon, and I will talk to you later. Hello, Thomas. Who are you? I am from ancient Greece. I am Bowser from the Mushroom Kingdom. And if you don't deliver me Peach within the next 24 hours, your YouTube channel will be taken down. All joking aside, Thomas, you are very welcome to Green Hill Gaming. How are you doing? This is a post-game discussion of Heavy Rain while viewing some of the concept art as well. The game always had you thinking, though. You know, it always had you thinking, like, you know, there's something about this guy now, you know. Maybe he's the origami killer. Because I said that about at least 3 characters, you know. But you just, you're like, you know. But every chapter, like, just felt very fun, you know, to interact with, as in, like, you know, see what kind of questions you could ask, answers you could answer, you know, how you could go about that chapter, you know, where you wanted to go, what you wanted to do, what course of action you wanted to take. You know, it was fun, like, it really was. Yo, that dog looks like my dog. Ah, really? Could be. Never know. This could be your house. Glad you're doing fine as well. Do you reckon there'll be a sequel to this game? Like, maybe somebody could be inspired by the Origami Killer and just, like, continue his work or something. This kind of notion of how far you go, you know, to save the one you love. But it's a very good team. Very, very good team. Because we all have loved ones. Family. Friends. Partners. You know. Whoever. And, you know, how far would we go to protect them, to save them? And You could just, like, I mean, you could, like, not that I'm forgiving, not that I'm excusing the actions of Shelby, but you can understand his mentality. You know, like he lost his brother at a very, very young age. His father didn't do anything to save him, and he felt that he didn't do enough to try to save him. And you know, he's living the rest of his life, and he could see, like, you know, fathers and sons and brothers and sisters and friends and, you know, partners, and, you know, he could think to himself, I wonder how far they will go, you know, to save their loved ones, you know, that kind of way. And that's probably what more than that is what actually inspired Shelby to be the origami killer, and why he targeted Ethan, because he wanted to see how far Ethan would go to save Sean. And obviously he proved himself. Jesus, he proved himself above and beyond, you know. But he wasn't going to kill anyone. He certainly wasn't going to poison himself, because the way I viewed it, that story myself, was like, what's the point in saving Sean if he's going to have to be brought up without a father? Think about that, you know. I mean, what if Sean grew up thinking, oh, my father poisoned himself like an idiot trying to save me? Why didn't he just fight the origami killer? Why didn't he just find another way? And he did find another way. He used the recording on the phone to pinpoint the location of Sean and saved him. You know, he didn't take the easy way out. You know, one of my friends bought Minecraft, right? He found a village, he looted it, and he destroyed the village. And then he went to play Minecraft. Can someone remind the game that he was playing before? I'm not quite sure what you mean, but that's kind of funny. So he found the village, completely looted it, and then blew it up. If I hear a funny Minecraft story, I'll tell you a funny Minecraft story. I built an igloo, and I decided it'd be a good idea to put 2 torches beside it. Didn't realise how advanced the game was in terms of physics, and it melted. It fucking melted. Ah, here we go. Making of crafting virtual actors. Oh, nice. I did it before, then they kicked me out. Chad. Not sure how long this is, but we watched it anyway. Oh, this is going to be one of those making-ofs where they're just going to show like a montage of just footage instead of actually talking, I presume so anyway. I was looking at, even though this is a PS3 game, and PS3 is considered by some as retro, I wouldn't call it retro because it just makes me feel too old. Just seeing how far video game technology has come, like you can have that level of acting. I mean, these are some serious scenes, like straight out of the movie, like. And I think that's what they were going for, really, with Heavy Rain. A movie-like experience. Ah, there's my guy.
You got a badge or something, Mr. J?
I want to meet him in real life. Seriously.
Yeah, of course.
I do like. We should play Until Dawn. That's actually on my wish list as well, actually.
Check. You can pass.
Ah, I was short enough, unfortunately. Okay, yeah, so that's what they were going for with Heavy Rain, evidently. A movie-like experience. I mean, you just compare this to Pac-Man. Big difference. Yeah. Like, the blurry line between, like, I don't know, like video games and movies are getting more and more blurry, like to the point where a lot of these video games are just like interactive movies now, and it's fantastic. I mean, I used to look at that in a negative way before, believe it or not, but you know, once you fully understand what the experience is, you soon get on board. I do anyway. I mean, it's a movie in which you are in control of. I mean, you can watch Netflix right now, watch a movie, watch a thriller, you know, watch a suspense crime thriller, you know, and it's the director that decides what happens, you know, and where the story goes, you know, the script writer decides that as well. But when you, as the player, are playing a game like Heavy Rain, you're the director, you're the script writer, you're everything. You get to decide what's said, you get to decide where you go, and it just makes for a very unique experience, you know. So I'm fully behind these kind of games now. King Boo, not so scary. King Boom, it's sad. Eleanor did the same too. Not quite as movie-like, yeah, movie-like, definitely movie-like, but not as interactive in terms of like it didn't have like choice-based elements and stuff. But I see what you mean. I got a lot of hate for not being a GTA. You know what, man, at this stage I prefer Eleanor 2 than GTA 6. But I'm done with modern Grand Theft Auto anyway, like, as I've made perfectly clear many times. I'm happy enough playing classic GTA. But as far as like other Rockstar games, I'd much prefer Eleanor 2, like, I want Eleanor 2, like. And I just don't have to worry about that being some kind of an online game, you know, that kind of way. All the technology, very similar technology, are correct there, the facial animations, yeah. Casting real actors.
Dad! Hey, take it easy, you're gonna knock me over. So this is your big day, huh?
Am I grown up now?
10 years old, that's not exactly grown up, but you're getting there.
So could you just...
There he is, the guy himself.
Name for the camera.
My name is Pascal Langdale.
What is the text that was given to you?
I have Norman, Jaden, and Ethan as well.
He's English.
Sean may be dead in a few hours. He wants to test me. He wants to punish me for Jason's death. I'm the one who should have died.
Look at this, I mean, this level of acting, like.
I would have done anything to give my life.
You have to have good actors for a game like Heavy Rain, you know, if you're trying to go for a movie like experience, like.
Not a day goes by that I don't see his face. Now, Sean has got nothing to do with that, nor do any of the other children. This has to stop.
You've got to hand yourself into the police.
Look, if I hand myself into the police, I lose all chances of finding Sean. They'll question me, but I won't be able to tell them anything because I don't know anything. I don't know what happened.
Ethan, you may have killed those children. You don't know what you're capable of. You must end yourself in.
I have to save Sean at all costs. He may be a prisoner somewhere, and I'm the only one who knows where. If I have to face up to all these trials to prove to myself that I love my son, then I'll do it.
Ethan, it's crazy. You have to hand yourself in.
I'll hand myself into the police when I have found Sean.
What an actor. You can see him, like...
Promise me, you won't inform on me until I have found my son.
Recent report indicates that the police are now treating this as another kidnapping.
Hello there, sweetheart. What can I do for you?
To find the child.
I'd like a room.
I'm Michael Nettie for ICN.
For you? Anything.
He did a fantastic American accent.
I'm 25.
So here was something
I've been modelling
confusing.
for 5 years.
Sonic 2, Adventure 2, King God.
I didn't mean to get into modelling at all.
Cool,
I was
Thomas.
scouted on the street. I was shopping with my mum.
She's English as
Last time
well.
I saw him,
I presume they're English,
trucks
Quantum Dreams.
I was about 50 yards away.
Are they an English
He
studio?
suddenly turned and looked at me. Locked on my eyes. And I didn't realise what was happening straight away. I heard cries from behind me. Everyone started running in slow motion. I just remained motionless, locked on his gaze.
You were back, no problem, Thomas.
I hadn't noticed the detonator in his hand.
Yeah, Chad, he did a fantastic American accent. Jesus.
Your vast experience hasn't prevented 8 victims
God.
from being murdered. Fucking asshole!
I was almost going to
Blake,
do the motion
if
there.
you've got a better plan, I'm willing to listen. Don't be shy. I'm all ears.
The second is... Oh, there we
Yeah, Leon O'Kindon.
Can you tell me a little bit what you've done recently?
The last thing I did a thing called Richard the Lionheart for the BBC.
English as well?
Cora confessed.
You beat him all night to make him talk. He would have confessed to Kennedy's assassination if you asked him. Your confession is a heap of shit.
He should be... If they reboot X-Files,
Porter
that's
is
Monday
not
right there.
the origami killer. He's a sick child killer, but he has nothing to do with the disappearance of Sean Mars. We have lost time for nothing, and all this time that continues to, and all that time it continues to rain. According to the weather forecast, we've got less than 12 hours before we reach 7 inches of rainfall, and we haven't the remotest idea where Sean Mars is.
Excellent indeed.
I bought 10 minutes of your time, didn't I?
There's the origami killer.
All I ask is that you use that time to answer some questions.
Oh, and also King Boom Boo in Sonic X legit has a different voice than the Sonic Adventures 2 Boom. It's just so confusing.
It's
Sounds
just
it.
very different
Thomas.
from what
Sounds
I
it.
imagined. How do you become a private eye?
Well, I was a cop for 20 years, and one fine day my wife decided to run off with, so you should see all the faces of the husbands when they first discover that I know that they have a mistress. It's like a little kid, their hand caught in a cookie jar. I could have tripled my salary. If I accepted everything they promised me, just to keep quiet.
14 costume sessions. Jesus Christ, 457 actors auditions. The actors selected. I like actually that got included. All these bonus content got included. That's something you'd more than likely would have to, nowadays, you'd have to pay for a deluxe edition or something for that. Making of the music. The depressing music of Heavy Rain, that's what they should call it.
In an experience like Heavy Rain, I believe the music plays a very, very important
So that's David
role.
Cage.
We know that, but we rediscover that at each game. And actually, we believe that music is probably about 50%, if not more, of the impact of the images.
Good point, actually. So you know what? It's actually good to see the story being highlighted.
With music in a title like Heavy Rain is the non-linear nature of the piece. So many actors told us that it was like the work of 3 to 4 movies, and regarding the music, it's exactly the same. It's as much work as 3 to 4 movies because of the non-linearity of the game. So at the same time, you got big volumes to record, but at the same time, you want to keep the same intention, the same intensity, and the same emotion in every single track in the game. So that's what the focus has been so far, and I'm really pleased with the result.
It was a bit, bit difficult at the beginning, but at the same time easy because I knew David before, so I I know what he likes and what he doesn't like. So it for me, you know,
I actually feel like
it's a
he's
good
talking
start.
into my left
when
ear.
you already have, you know, a relationship with a director, you save time.
Abbey Road Studios. Jesus, that's where they recorded the music. Abbey Road Studios. Welcome back, Thomas.
Not to build something that is not there. Everything is there. All the picture, all the details, all, you know,
Oh my
the
God, it's
faces,
orchestra. Yep.
the emotion, the reaction.
Abbey Road
of
Studios.
everybody. So you just have to work as a movie, you know, to be there just to maybe put a bit more focus about, you know.
It's actually I'm not being funny, but it sounded like you said fuckers.
That scene or something like that.
He said focus, but it sounded like
I think in
fuckers.
the music, it's something, because for somebody sad it's something, for somebody else sad it's another thing.
You like orchestra?
So it's very difficult.
Nice.
I would say, you know, as Stravinsky said, that it's not really. It's
What's
not
your favorite
the,
instrument?
It's not you that you will express
Or your
something by
favorite
the music. It's the music itself that will
type.
express.
The other bit is brass percussion.
Like Heavy Rain, there are some milestone moments, and definitely being here at the Bay Road is one of them. So when I wrote the script, I certainly had notes and soundtracks in my mind, which most of the time is not what you listen to at the end, what you get, but it's definitely better what I hear here today with a real orchestra, and I think that it makes a huge difference to have real musicians and a real orchestra and a real composer behind this game.
Okay, so that's going to do it for the live stream. That was my Heavy Rain post discussion, yeah, I got to see fantastic bonus content. Favorite instrument is the orchestra, or in the orchestra is the trombone. Nice. Try to think what mine would be, you know. Probably the triangle. It's easy. You don't have to put too much effort into it. You just hold it, give it a whack. You know, just whack that triangle. Like. Yeah. But that's going to do it for the live stream. Thank you so much for watching. I've really enjoyed Heavy Rain. I'm looking forward to getting stuck into Beyond Two Souls at some stage. Go back and play Detroit Become Human as well. And Until Dawn as well, even though I think it's made by a different company, but I'll still give it a go anyway. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, much appreciated. Hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next live stream. I'm going to play some Live Alive now on Switch. Unfortunately I can't stream that, but nonetheless, catch you in the next live stream. Oh, wait a second, I like the young person's guide to the orchestra. It's pretty cool. Nice, Thomas. Nice. Fan of orchestra. I love that. Okay. See you next time.